Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, tie your shoes once and never again. The measuring spoon goes flat. And wrap your gifts like a pro. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find projects and let you know if you should back, track, or sack them. I'm Ktdata, one half the show, but the man that is joining me he's such an amazing man that I even take fashion style tips from him because I actually own the shirt that he is also wearing, the one and only.
That's right.
Drew Tyler, how you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm wearing my Kickstarter shirt today because I was, feeling festive.
Festive and looking to back things.
Yes, I'm ready. Ready to back it up.
Yeah. So if you guys have never seen this show before, first of all, welcome. And I know, Drew, you've been busy with school, but have you been able to venture a little bit into the Kickstarter world as of late?
Yeah, I've been looking at some interesting and fun projects. I always have things that catch my eyes as friends back them or look at new things. So yes, I've been playing.
Yeah. And this week I've just been getting these past 2 weeks I've actually been getting like a couple of my projects sent in that I totally forgot I backed or didn't think they'd be delivering them. So
Nice.
yeah, like I got the Joking Hazard in.
Very good. Very good.
And if you guys don't know what the Joking Hazard, it's made by the Cyanide and Happiness guys, and you kind of put together your own comic strip, which is always fun to do, especially with their sense of humor.
Very fun.
Yep. So before we jump into our projects today, we have two quick pieces of news, and they're actually related to our kind of the bigger websites out there. So Drew, you probably have no need for this because you are a Photoshop Illustrator master that can make graphics, in your sleep, and they look professional, right?
I do pretty good.
But so Indiegogo actually announced a couple days ago that they had a partnership with Pictochart. Have you heard of these guys before?
No, tell me more.
They're kind of almost a slimmed down version infographics generator. So instead of giving you that full Photoshop suite and just a blank canvas, what they do is they actually create templates that you can use and modify, and there's like different tools so you're not just starting from scratch. You have some kind of basis. So what they have done with Indiegogo is create a Pictochart infographic or a Pictochart template that you can use for your project. And the way they designed it is they got 5 different designers from Pictochart, and they analyzed a whole bunch of successful Indiegogo projects to see what graphic elements in each of those did really well for those projects and kind of stood the test of time, because they looked at new projects, they looked at old projects, and looked for similarities and stuff. So what you can do now is if you go to this blog page or go straight to Pictochart, you can log in. The account's free, which is kind of crazy to me, but they run on a freemium model. So if you use the free account and you export it, it has Pictochart's logo listed on the bottom somewhere. And you have those limited, it's a lower quality image and all that jazz right there.
That makes sense. I mean, a lot of people do that. It makes total sense. You love it, and you get to try it out, and if you love it, that's when you pony up.
Yep, and they hid the pricing. I couldn't find the pricing for the longest time. Usually I'd like to take a look at that. But so I actually created a Pictochart website, and so this is what you're going to see when you log in. Is they have this nice template where they've actually laid everything out. So here's a project title. You want a nice big full image, but here's your about, any press features, because you notice a lot of projects when you scroll down a little bit, you just see, it was on CNN, Engadget, Gizmodo, all those stuff that you can put right here. Here's the features of a project. So they have just a couple sample things listed, more project things, projects in action, a use case, and just how it works and stuff. So you don't have to use all of this either. Here's some perks, the teams. What you can do is you can click on a block and say you want to change this picture. You can click on there and, still giving me the tutorial, but you can just drag and drop a picture here. Say you want to change it in like this icon right here. You can come over here and they have a whole bunch of icons that you can just pick from and change it to. This is, fully straightforward. You don't have to worry about making exactly, the, the 480 pixels or whatever wide and making sure it's all aligned in the column form and all those stuff that I pretend I know what I'm talking about, but they're really just buzzwords. And then from there, you just save it, you download it, and then you can throw it onto Indiegogo. How do you feel about this, Drew? Do you think this is a useful tool?
I think so. It looks like it designs like not only campaign pages, but the idea of just really sweet, simple, and this is kind of that new web. What are we at? 4.0 now.
I don't know anymore.
The one page, right? The one
Yeah.
page where it's like everything's here. I scroll up one, I get section 2, scroll up section 3, and campaigns are designed that way. And so this seems like the perfect way for a non-designer, layout design person to get some really professional good looking stuff real easy. So I love it. I think this is great.
Yeah. Because I mean, what is it now? Like Photoshop, it used to be like $700, but you still have to pay a subscription.
It's just $30, it's just $30 plus a month.
Yeah, it's $30 plus a month. I'm looking, so you could do the free one, if you really want to do it. They also have a monthly one that's $15 a month. It still has a watermark, but gives you a little bit more storage space on their cloud. Or you can do the $30 a month, which takes off the watermark. You can make a PDF. You can do privacy options or do a slide share. You have a high-res image, and you have access to all the templates and stuff. So this may, and I think I read if you just do it for 1 month, so $30 right there, make your graphics, you can still access them even if you go back to the free account.
Oh, nice. Nice. And that's, if you're running a campaign, that's really what you just need. Run it for a bit before and throughout the month of the campaign, or if you do a longer campaign, pay for what you're using.
Yep. And so if you guys want to go check that out, I will have the link to the PictoChart blog post that you can click on and sign up, try it out. I mean, it's free. I didn't have to enter a credit card or anything, so if you don't like it, you're not going to get charged for anything. Okay, so our next piece of news is on Kickstarter. And have you seen these projects when you're actually out looking and it's like, oh, it's our first 24-hour special perk that you only can get in the first 24 hours because we're going to discount it, or for the next 8 hours, this perk's going to be up and good. And if you miss it, right?
Mm-hmm. Seen it, yep.
Have you ever noticed sometimes you go look and that 24-hour perk, it's like 2 days later and they still haven't taken it down?
I have not found any of those. Have you seen those? They don't get.
I've seen one or two where they, they're behind on like taking off the perk, or they forgot to change the maximum amount of perks to whatever they had limited before. So Kickstarter has seen that, and they are now offering your ability to do time-based perks. So. Before you could just say, I'm only going to have 10 of these rewards, right?
Right.
Now what you can do in the same section is, instead of say, I want 10, you actually still can have 10, but then you can say, I only want this perk to be available for the next 24 hours. Or you set the time limit to it.
That's interesting. And what an awesome way to lock those in.
Yeah, and you can see right here, it says, it's pretty straightforward. You put your time that you want, the calendar pops up, and you can put the hours and stuff. And you can just put the backer limit and just add that, and you're good to go. And then, so this is how you'll see it. So if it's still available, it will be kind of your normal your normal Kickstarter thing. But if not, you'll have the little gray box saying that you missed out on it.
Very nice.
So I mean, those are a great way, especially to get people kind of excited, and especially when you hit that bathtub, right? In the middle of your project, that not a lot of people coming, you'd be like, hey, for the next 8 hours, if you were on the fence on backing this, you can get it for the special price right here. And that might actually convince some people to jump off the fence and actually do some backing. Do you see you using this or suggesting this to your clients?
Yeah, I think so, because this would be, like you said, either in the middle or at the beginning. So we talk about getting people all lined up, ready to go. Using something like this as part of your pre-run up, right? Everybody get ready to back on the first day because we're going to offer this, or there's a limited amount of that, and so you want to get on the first day, and to automate that in a way that you can just set up a project or a reward that's not going to, that you don't have to go back in and update again. I think this makes it easier to plan, easier to run your project. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I love that feature. The funny thing is, I'm hoping Indiegogo will take that. And the one feature that I really want Kickstarter to borrow or be inspired from Indiegogo is the secret perks, where you can send out this specific link. Think about that. Time that with one of these, and like reward your newsletter readers with a special price, but it's only for like the next 8 hours or something. I can imagine that might, encourage people to back your project right then and there instead of waiting.
Because of the secret link plus the secret the time-based stuff. I like that a lot.
So those are kind of our two biggest updates from Indiegogo and Kickstarter, which are the big times. So now it is time for our kick shouts, which are Twitter length shout outs. This one is a no-brainer for me. You guys have heard me mention the name Coverville Records and Andrew Allen, who makes tons and tons of different jazz covers of anything geek. Drew, have you seen Nintendo offering that NES Classic thing, the little tiny NES that has 30 games?
Yep.
Included
like $50.
That's coming out in like December.
Yep.
So what they have decided to do at Coverville Records is make an entire jazz tribute album of all 30 games. So the themes from all 30 games that are going to be on that mini NES will be included on this actual album. It's going to be the longest album because it's 30 tracks.
Wow, that is amazing.
And that's pretty straightforward. You can see I already backed it because they are on my Insta backlist. When they post the project, I'm pretty much getting it.
You just jump in, yeah.
The one cool thing that I will mention is there's a $100 level tier that you can get that they'll actually send you a flash drive, and they're probably going to design it to look like an NES. It will include all previous Andrew Allen albums, even his online stuff in this like cool NES. I have the one they did for the Star Wars album, and let's see if I can pull it right here. So it looks pretty sweet. So if you look on my screen right here, they made it look that's you. They made it look like Han Solo stuck in carbonite, and you can see the jazz instruments and everything on there. I think it's one of the coolest things ever.
That's cool.
So, and it says Andrew Allen Trio on there. So that is that's a level I recommend you get if you haven't had any of his back catalog stuff. So yeah, quick shout out to those guys because I love those guys, and I consider them friends. I don't know if they consider me friends, but whatever.
They're like, that KT's highlighting our stuff again. That guy's always doing stuff.
Yep. All right. So now onto our big projects. I don't know, Drew. You're young, spry, and fit, so you probably don't have this problem. But do you hate tying your shoes?
I do hate tying shoes. I tie all my kids' shoes all the time.
And you have to like bend down and like it seems stupid, right? Every time you're like, I'm tightening them to pretty much the same tightness every single time, and if I leave them tied, I'm gonna ruin the shoe. Because have you ever had that problem?
I do that. Yeah, you tie it and you leave it like double knotted, so then you just push your foot in and just
like your heel's all mush, and then like the other part of the shoe just gets all weird.
Yep.
So our first project of the night is aimed to solve this problem. They are called power lace shoes, and they are actually shoes that tie themselves. So it's almost like Back to the Future-esque shoes.
My!
So what you do is you only have to tie it once because you got to set the tension. So you put your foot in, and then you move this little tension thing that's at the top, that's on the tongue of the shoe. You adjust it to whatever you want right here, and then from now on the shoe will automatically tighten to that position you have. To get your foot out of the shoe, there's a little lever on the back of your shoe, so you use your other foot to step on that lever, and then you can pull your shoe out, or your foot out, not your shoe out, your foot out.
Oh, it's like a ski binding almost.
Yeah, and then but when the next time you put your foot in, it automatically tightens and locks to that position that you had prior to the that you had set. Wow. And it's great, right? And then you're thinking, does it use batteries or anything? No batteries, no electronics. It's fully mechanical, so you don't have to worry about getting your foot stuck in a shoe or something like that.
So when you step down on your heel, it's basically like cinching it up for you.
Yeah. So if you look at this picture right here, you can see like there's this like switch thing right on your heel. That's what you use your other foot to step on, so you can't accidentally trigger it and have your shoe fall off.
Okay.
What I like about this is they actually tried this in 2014 and the project wasn't successful, so they went back to the drawing board, tried to redesign it, took the feedback they had from everybody, and now they're finally back trying again. And hopefully this will be like the coolest cooler and just explode the second time around.
Yeah, that would be a very cool story. Everybody's wanted these for such a long time. Like they've seen them, they've talked about them. We've been led to believe they should be here by now in the future. But yeah, they look like they've got a ways to go. I don't know how many days this has been live, but it appears that if it's a 60-day campaign, they've already raised 10,000. Right, so that's a good start.
They're a fairly new project that launched because the way I look at projects is I always look at the newest ones first. Here's just like your foot coming in and it just automatically just whoop.
Perfect.
Isn't that so cool? And this is how you set it. You just pull and the laces are made out of Kevlar too. So there's a low chance of your shoelaces breaking. Because have you ever had that where you love a pair of shoes and then the shoelaces just snap and you just can't find a pair of replacement shoelaces that fit just like the original ones did? That always annoys me. And so yeah, that's what I love about this, and that's how you take it off. So you see the foot stepping on the switch, and then you can pull your foot out because it kind of releases the tension.
That is real. I would love to try on a pair of these. I would love to just see how it works and step into it.
Yeah, they're coming in different colors too. So you got blue, orange, red, yellow, or black trim, and then one with a blue mesh. That kind of shows a little more on the shoe.
I dig it.
I love this. Is this a backtrack or sack for you?
This is a back for me. I just think that there was there's a lot of different type of shoe gimmickry that's happened over the years, and this one feels like they've done it just by doing it mechanically. It feels like it's probably a little bit more of a I don't know, it just feels more sure bet. Like it's kind of a steampunk feel to it without going overly tech where like you said, like Bluetooth shoes or something, you hit your phone to get them to tighten up. Like this just feels like a very natural progression. And I'm hoping that not only does it fun, but I'm hoping that they get the eye of some of the bigger shoe manufacturers and something like this becomes a standard.
Yeah, and what's great about it is if you back it now, how much do you think the pair of these shoes would go for?
I would put them with all the gadgetry and stuff. Normal pair of probably, I don't know, 60, 70, 80.
So yeah, like for me, a normal pair of shoes is probably around $80, maybe 100 if like they're basketball shoes. Because
running shoes up to 100. Yeah.
For these pairs, if you get on the early bird, it's only $89
with the gadgetry and the fun.
Yeah,
not bad.
So they're looking to retail at $179, which is a little tougher. But I mean, if you're getting on the ground floor, $80, I mean, that's not you're going to be paying about that much for a pair of shoes anyways. So why not get the cool ones that tie for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a fantastic way to go.
Yep. So these are the power laces, and it's back for me too because I mean, it's like why not? Now I just hope they have like a dress shoe version too because
that would be cool.
I have to wear dress shoes now.
That would be cool. And I've got slip-ons for my dress shoes, and I clip-clop all over the place with my fancy black shoes.
And then all right, so for our next project, this is something that you know how to do far better than me because I'm not allowed into the kitchen, and you guys can guess which one of us two actually does the food podcast. I don't know why.
I don't know how you got into that.
But so what's our next project? Because I know you and your wife like to bake and do all that cookery stuff all the time.
We love to play in the kitchen together. It's one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on as we get along in the kitchen. Like we work very seamlessly and we're cooking things. She cooks way more often than I do, but she lets me play once in a while. So I saw this project. It's called Polygons. It's a measuring spoon, which I have like 3 or 4 different measuring spoon sets.
Do you just have like a full like drawer? Because every time I go to people's houses who actually make stuff, they always have like measuring spoons everywhere. I'm like, oh.
I've got one that goes next to the stove that's with all of the tall utensils. I've got one in the second drawer that is with kind of mixed in with the cups and the bigger cups, and then one in the silverware drawer is a set that we use for loose tablespoons and teaspoons. Like just all over. You use so many. One of them goes through the wash every time. That's why we have multiple sets. So I found this Polygons tool and I fell in love just with the idea. So I showed it to Peach, trying to see what she would think of this concept, and she too was kind of like, wait a minute, I like that. That's a fresh take on this. So check it out. It is a flat measuring spoon that kind of uses, I don't know, origami, but it uses polygon design to be able to fold in different places. So it's kind of spring loaded in a way that just lays out flat. And as you pick up the rectangle and you pinch two sides together, depending on where you pinch it, it's going to create a triangle pocket that will be the right size. Your tablespoon, your teaspoon, your half teaspoon, depending on where you pick that up and where you pinch it. You can use it to fill with something that's viscous like honey. You can use it to measure oil. You can use it to measure powders. A lot of the things that you do in those smaller things, salt, baking soda, baking powder, sugar. For me, sugar is like a cup and 2 cups, or it's not even worth it. But I just thought, what a tremendous idea, because then the cleaning of this thing is so much easier. If I measure something with honey, I have to
you gotta get the sponge. You gotta get the sponge out too when you're cleaning in. Make sure you get all the crevices and stuff, or it's no bueno.
Yep, and I'll take it and put it in a bowl and kind of have to pull that thing out. So this is really cool that once you've done and measured your honey and dumped it in, you flatten it out again and you just kind of wipe it on the side like you would wipe a knife, and all of the stuff that you had measured fits in there. So the one kind of question mark I have is what's the broadness of this? Can you still fit it into your seasonings and spices jars, right? So when you have a really small 1/8 teaspoon or a half teaspoon, you go right in there and you can pull out what you need. So depending on how small these are width-wise, they should also do the same thing, pop in, be able to get what you need, clean off the top, and measure it up. So I think it's fantastic. I think it's really cool. I'm excited for one of their stretch goals. They have I don't know if you can find this picture down in the middle, but they have a $200,000 stretch goal for the Hell's Kitchen color option, which is red and black. So the tool is black, and then the creases where it folds up is red.
Oh, where is this? Is that an update?
No, it's under the metric sizes, but it's going to be under the stretch goal. So they've already got these kind of plans for stretching. They have 25 days to go. They might be able to pull it off. But I love the look of that black and red, because I would cook with that.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Yeah, this is totally Tron.
It looks Tron.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So easy to clean, easy to use, some really cool options. They come in a pair, and so one pair does your tablespoons and your milliliters, right? And it's the bigger things, and then the other one does teaspoons. So you can do clear up to 2 tablespoons if you want, or go from teaspoons to halves to quarters. I love it. I love the look. I love the prettiness. It's just a unique way to do the measurement. I'd like to try them just to see what kind of drawbacks there are with using something like this often. But as something that would store so flat, you could put that in your what's this thing called? You put your recipe box, right? If you go in there, it can be a bookmark in the magazines that we have, all the Food Network magazines. I think it might get lost, but I also love how small it is, because you could just have that with you just about anywhere. What the best part of this, even though they're already gone, a set started early bird at $8, and now you can get them for, I think they're up to $12. But that's a set, one tablespoon, 1 teaspoon. And then they were brilliant because they put together this if you want to spend $30, we'll save you some money, but you can get 3 of the tablespoons, 3 of the teaspoons. So it's another 3 sets as part of your pledge. And that, that's just a wonderful gift for anybody that that cooks. This would be a really unique gift for anybody that cooks in your life. Yeah. This would be
that's the funny part. I'm thinking, I don't need these. But I know people who cook. These? Maybe if I get them, they'll cook for me.
That's it. So I don't know what their timeline is right now. I think the plan is probably going to be shipping in January, February. Yeah. So it's past the holidays. But the look and the prettiness of these, I think it's a really cool design, and I would love to have one. So for me, absolutely back on this one.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna back a couple of these for gifts, because I do know a podcast host somewhere that her birthday is in February. And
perfect timing.
I think she would love these.
It's fantastic. So it's got this. It falls back flat. I don't know if it's spring loaded, but it basically resting position for these falls back flat.
The only thing I would be worried about is because you know how it has those seams. How durable are those seams? Say if you fold them too much, are they gonna fall apart or?
Yeah,
start
that'd be a
leaking.
good question.
Um,
Like,
that would be my only concern. But this looks sick. so,
just a
so
unique way, right? Somebody
yeah,
just went, "Hey, what if we just did this with a triangle,
yeah,
with a polygon?"
and are you like me when you like using a cup or something and like just and you're using something like super sticky or super viscous and it's just like stuck on the side of the thing and you can't get it out. And you're like, that's such a waste right
Yeah,
there. That's such a
yeah.
waste. You use this like not wasting it anymore. It's going in the food.
Fighting it out.
Or
Yep,
or me, I'll lick it.
I love it. I love it.
This is why I'm not allowed to cook or be in the kitchen.
Every meal you eat with KT. Hey, did you look this already? You tried this already?
Maybe. So that is the polygons, and yeah, that's definitely a back, and they have smashed their goals because they only wanted
Yeah.
10 grand and they're at $500,000 now.
Yep, and shipping's only $4. So for $16 you can get a set, or if you go up to like, I think it's $34 now, you can get that 3 sets. So $36. Anyway, awesome.
Yep.
Super awesome idea.
All right. So for our last project tonight, we actually had everybody vote for it, and it tied. So I'll do a quick shout out for the one that we didn't pick. That was the what did I say it was? The Bonjour smart alarm clock, where it's an alarm clock that kind of has Siri built in, but has
Right.
more contextual understanding of the world.
I did love on that one that he was able to say something like, "Wake me up at 7:30 if the weather's good. If it's not, don't bother." And that was like the alarm clock would be like, "Okay, weather's no good. I'm not triggering the alarm." So there is some cool stuff there.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool stuff. But this next one is actually, speaking of gifts, Christmas is just around the corner, right?
Yep.
And one thing I love to do is actually give out gifts to all my buddies because I think they're all cool, and this is how I bribe them.
You are a gifter.
This is how I also bribe people to keep being friends with me. But doing that, I always have to wrap everything, and usually I try to avoid it by just buying bags and putting things in and just putting paper on
That's what
them.
I've gone to after many years. Yep.
But sometimes I'll get something too big that can't fit in a bag, and I have to wrap it. And there's always that fun part of, all right, now you're laying it on your carpet and trying to measure, and oh crap, the roll's coming back while you're trying to cut it. It's kind of a pain, right?
Yeah, happens all the time. Yep.
So our last project tonight is called the Wrap Buddies, and this is to actually help solve the problem. So what they are there these 2 clips that will have a little dowel in the middle, and what you do is you clip them to the table, and then you put your wrapping paper in between both of them and have the dowel kind of stick where the cardboard tube is in the middle. And then what you can use now is the table's holding the wrapping paper, so you can just pull it out. So I feel like I'm in the mall when you see all those professional like gift wrappers out there that when you and at the mall you give it to them and they're done. And I'm like, whoa, how do they do that? And they have something similar to this. But you can actually use that, and you can see on the screen that it's almost like those tinfoil boxes where you can just pull out whatever you need and cut what you need. And I love this idea. It's super simple because it's just 2 clips that you put on your table. And that's all you need. And from there, you can just wrap your wrapping paper fairly easily. And storing it's not going to take a lot of room too, because those dowels you can actually unscrew and then just put them together in a box somewhere, and you're good to go for the rest of the year. Because let's be honest, the only time I wrap gifts is around Christmas.
Christmas is all. Although I've found that with 3 little girls, I'm wrapping a dozen more gifts a year just for random birthday parties for kids. But that's why we've been doing a lot of bags. But I love this idea. This is a unique solution to a problem that probably a lot of people didn't know they had.
Yeah, and I love how compact it is, because he actually shows these pictures. So if you look on screen right now, the picture that is on your right, because I can tell directions, on your right of screen, that's what you go to the store and stuff, and they have their wrapping paper all stored in. And I don't have that much room in my house.
Yeah, I got one for Christmas, and I had to. It stays up in the closet now because it's so much room.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the difference where this is just 2 clips, and you put it on a table anywhere you need. So you don't even have to have like a special spot to place it. And what's great about this is he actually can make these now by 3D printing them. It's just not economical for him to make a whole bunch of these. So what he's looking for is actually enough startup capital so he can go get a mold made, and they can make them in large quantities. So it's not like this is vaporware or a prototype. It's actually developed. They just need to take it to that next step in production.
I was really interested to see that even though they've got the plan, like it's all set up, they really don't have. They're being very cautious with their timeline. If you look at the timeline, the Kickstarter runs all the way through December, and then in January they're going to finalize their designs, and then they don't have delivery until September
so
of
that's
next year.
6 months. They're giving,
9
months, yeah,
after the end of the project, and so they're being very generous with that. But I think you and I see a lot of people that are far too aggressive.
Yeah,
and so this. Right, it shouldn't turn you off. You should look at that and go, well, that's what I need for the holiday season. Just
So that's the smart thing, is because it's not getting delivered in December, so it still has that time. So I like how they're I don't know if they said they're going to go overseas or not, but this is a smart thing to do, especially if this is your first time trying to get something injection molded, because it sounds like it's a simple thing to do to get a mold made, but it is far more complicated when you start. Putting your feet on the ground and trying to get it all working and making sure stuff doesn't break when you're actually making it. That's why I love the timing on it. I just love the idea, and I love that you can store it in a drawer.
Yeah, super small. I could totally see this being sold at like the Container Store or something, right? It's just it's the perfect little thing to add to the wrapping mania. A thing I didn't even know that I needed, but I love this idea. I'll back this one.
Yeah, not to mention, I know this guy knows his batteries because he uses the good kind of rechargeable batteries in his drawer. So that is
his drawer. You're creeping on this poor man's drawer.
That alone is a back for me, just because I know he knows what he's doing. Is this a back for you too?
Yeah, no, I think this is fantastic. This is definitely a back for me. I love that he's prototyping 3D printing. I love that it's functional, that he has all kinds of information in here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, and he's so close to his goal too. If you look, he's at $4,670 and he just wants $5,000. So with 52 days to go, I think he'll make it.
Yep.
So that is the wrap, buddies. And then last but not least, it is time for our Sack of the Week. All right, Drew. I know you are like a professional selfie taker. I haven't seen a selfie from you that looks bad. You're always great at finding a good selfie. Me, on the other hand, I'm like terrible because I feel like I can't angle it right, and it doesn't help that I'm like almost a foot taller than my mom. It's because you're so tall.
Like you're just like, this doesn't work.
Yeah, I can't fit everybody in. So one of the solutions is instead of getting a selfie stick, because let's be honest, you look kind of dumb when you have a selfie stick, right?
That's what this guy says.
or people say that. I don't know. I don't have.
I went to Yellowstone over the weekend and I saw everybody with the selfie stick, and I just thought, I don't know. Every time I saw it, I thought, wow, why do you need to stick that picture clear that far away?
Yep.
Like your arm, I don't get it. Like you get the shot you want just by holding it out with your hand. Yes. You don't need to go an extra 1.5 feet. Just. Anyway.
This is why you're the professional selfie taker. I mean, some of us are not gifted with that ability to take it. So, instead of being kind of that stupid looking guy, did you know that the human body has a built-in selfie stick?
I did not realize. It's my arm, right? No.
No. It is
this guy.
Your feet.
Didn't you know the feet can also be a selfie stick?
Yes. So our sack of the week is the selfie feet. Use your feet to take the perfect selfie. So they give you a Bluetooth remote shutter, and they give you this band that you can put on the end of your foot, and there's a magnetic thing that you put on the back of your phone that attaches to the selfie foot. And then from there, you can...
So like I do in my car, right? So I can mount something on a special mount, and I can mount it on and off the dashboard of my car with the magnet mount. Yeah. I do the same with my foot.
Yeah, and so this is where it's brilliant. Because you know how you go to the gym and stretch? So you can stretch now, stretch your legs, and take a selfie at the same time, like this little girl is doing, like a pro.
And you still have to hold the trigger button.
Yeah, you have the trigger button.
Pull that out of your pocket.
Yeah. But you're stretching at the same time.
Selfie feet.
No?
Okay.
Well, see, this is a smarter one where you can attach it to a pole. But why would you do that? Just use your feet.
I just get a flick button and do that.
Yeah.
So
look at this. That's taken from a foot right there.
It's a unique angle. I'll give you that. I love that he has a caption. How do you avoid having your leg in every picture? Just straighten your foot and hey, presto, no leg. I like the unique angles. I do. They're kind of fun.
Yeah. Do you find it funny though that most of these pictures are just of the person laying down?
Yeah, almost every one of them is laying down. Uh, yeah, I'm
This
looking
water
at the
one's a
montage.
little freaky.
Yeah, it looks like there's a gigantic sea slug that's like 5 times bigger than anybody else. So there are some good ones in here, but there are also quite a few that I'm like, that's not appealing. The selfie feet. Oh, I don't know what he was. Here's interesting. Usually our sacks of the week are like unthought out or like poorly explained.
Yeah.
This one's all here. It's well explained. I just think it's an idea that you and I kind of are like, what do you mean? You don't need this.
So like, and I'm a little skeptical about this project because if you look at how much he's wanting, is he wants $1.
Oh, it's $1 goal?
Yeah, and the reason why I'm a little skeptical now is because if you look, he wants $goal, and then you look at his account name by Quinn Media Group.
Interesting.
Doesn't this feel like almost a project you would put together to put into your portfolio or try to make viral? Like that's where I'm kind of feeling it at, is that they're trying to purposely make this project viral so it will explode, kind of like potato salad or any of the other ones, and then they can be like, hey, we were the group who was the masterminds behind this, so if you hire us to do your crowdfunding projects, you can have good ROI.
I just don't see it working. Maybe it is that crazy idea, but yeah. I just don't see that working.
I don't either. It just seems too obvious for me. Like if they had to at least put a more realistic goal other than $1, I might have believed it a little more, but this just seems like it's totally a setup, or we're just going to put this into our portfolio. I mean, because if somebody backs $1, like, hey, look at that. We do Kickstarter projects. All our projects so far have met their goal.
That's cheap. That's a cheap one. I don't know. I guess I don't like
the idea that I would put my phone on my foot. Yeah, like I'm already worried about my phone being clean now. Now I'm gonna put it on something that's like spends a majority of its time near the ground.
On top of being taking the time, because when you do selfies, the whole idea is like trying to be like quick, right? Yeah. Get in a position and grab it, and to be able to be like stop. I got to put my Velcro on my shoe. I got to put my whatever stretchy thing over my shoe and magnet it, and it just feels like it's not as quick as it could be.
And I'm not as as nimble as this guy is, because I don't think I could like keep my foot straight while I'm standing.
Tall Asian,
all my pictures are all my selfies will be blurry because I can't stay still because I can't balance on one foot.
So I gotta say that the idea is interesting. This is a pretty well thought out campaign. It's just nothing I would ever play with myself.
I don't see that there's a market for this.
Yeah, that's the question mark. I like where the guy's going. I wish him the best and hope that he gets his $1.
That he reaches his $1 goal. Maybe somebody will back it.
But, not for me.
But if you do get a foot selfie and it works well for you, let us know.
Let us know. Tell us. I'll eat my hat.
Yeah, tell me your secrets on how you can stay stable on one leg while trying to take a selfie.
Love it.
All right, guys. That is actually the end of the show. But if you do want to get in contact with us saying you're like, yeah, the selfie feet, genius, shoot us an email, kickcast@ktdata.net, or you can leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast. Of course, you can always find our crazy ventures on Twitter at Night20 for that beautiful man there. His tweets are always full of knowledge. At Ktdata, if you want to know how mundane my dreams are.
Sounds like you've had some real boring dreams. What was it? You went to the store to buy fish oil for your last dream?
I went to Costco and bought a giant thing of fish oil pills, and I woke up. That was my dream.
Peach bought our fish oil yesterday, so maybe there's a connection between you and Peach. Like she bought our fish oil yesterday. But yes, that is the most boring dream, second only to probably one I had when I was 6, where I watched a big farm machine plant potatoes, or pull up potatoes out of a field. That was my other dream.
That at least sounds sort of interesting because there's stuff. It was me walking into a warehouse and going to a giant pallet and picking up one thing and going to the cash register, and I woke up after that.
You need more excitement in your life.
Like, I wasn't naked or anything. It was just
That's so
seemed
funny.
like a normal day. I don't even take fish oil pills. That's why it's
Oh, that's even funnier. Maybe you should. I find them very, very rejuvenating.
just because I clearly remember a point, me looking at the label and it says fish oil pills on it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, if you want the interesting stuff, Drew's your man. Of course. If you want our old episodes in our show notes, you can go to kickcast.net. And for you guys who have an Amazon Echo, I hope you guys are actually listening to this out loud, because you can do this now. Alexa, play Double Burst. And if you have, and it will play it via TuneIn, so you can actually do that now.
That is cool.
Or not even Double Burst. Or Alexa, play KickCast. All of the Ktdata.net podcasts can be played that way if you have an Amazon Echo.
That is cool.
I'm super excited.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Drew, you got anything to pimp plug? Just people randomly throw him money so he can go to Vegas, please.
Yeah.
Please.
I would love to go to Vegas. No, I'm rocking it. I'm having a good time in life and just trying to stay afloat.
All right, so we hope you guys come watch our live. Our next episode is going to be November something. November 8th? 9? Yeah.
No, it's 8th, you're right.
Yeah, 8th. Election day. So
Yep.
after you finish voting, come watch us talk about cool crowdfunding projects. Because, yeah, sure.
Why not?
Why not? So until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.